When Stephen asked us to provide a biography for this event, he said to us, can you please give us a brief line on what you consider to be the most rewarding aspect of your job? And I said, making my clients look good, which in retrospect sounds a bit egotistical, but I see that really as part of my job. It's about delivering service improvements for our clients and increasing recovery rates. And when the client is a commercial creditor, that very often involves a discussion around judgment and enforcement processes. So that's what we're going to talk about today, as well as zombies, or more specifically, zombie businesses. We heard a little bit about this earlier on. Zombie businesses are those that generate just enough cash to service bank debts and to pay key suppliers. And we had some stats from Company Watch, and here's a repetition of those. So growth in zombie businesses soared by 108% in the last 5 years to 230,000 and have a combined negative net worth of around about £70 billion. Here's what this man has to say about zombie businesses. He's Vince Cable, Business Secretary, and he draws a parallel between zombie businesses and households, and says that interest rates, when they inevitably rise, will have an impact on both those entities. Some other commentators say that yes, whilst interest rates are a key driver, you also, when you're talking about businesses, would be looking at underinvestment and sustained underinvestment over the period of economic downturn. And when the economy eventually recovers, if you accept that we're in a period of recovery, then those businesses that have underinvested naturally become the chaff from the wheat, and could potentially form part of your customer base. When we're talking to our commercial credit clients about recovery, we often use a queue analogy, and the first three stages will be very familiar to everybody. The sort of soft collection stages, the person who does nothing stays at the back of the queue. Those that use an internal soft collection process of telephone calls and letters may achieve slightly better results. Those that instruct a DCA, and so forth. The real stages that work for those debtors that perhaps are juggling with multiple creditors are instructing a solicitor, obtaining judgment, and enforcing that judgment. But those stages are the ones that when we talk to clients, that people are most reluctant to engage in. We can force entry to commercial premises if we need to. We can seize stock and infrastructure, so servers, IT equipment, telephony equipment, all those things that are business critical. And when we approach a defendant business and we raise that prospect with them, if they can pay, they absolutely will pay. So it's a very effective method of obtaining leverage. And we can charge costs directly to the defendant rather than charging a commission to the creditor. So in that respect, we work very differently to a DCA. So our service, once you've gone through the judgment stage, is effectively a cost-neutral service where we are able to enforce. So some of you already will use High Court enforcement, and perhaps will have, I've spoken to several people today that have a solicitor that manages that process for them. And if you fall within that category, I would say to you, fine, but take more of an active interest in what is a key part of your litigation and enforcement process. So know who's actually doing that work at the end of the line, and tell your solicitor that you want to have more than one service provider on board. That really is the only way to ensure that you're obtaining the best results, is to get management information and champion challenge. So have more than one supplier, run a test with them, and see how effective both are and how they match up against each other. One of the things that sets Burlington apart is Burlington Pathfinder, which is our portal system. It's provides instant updates via field digital reporting technology that our enforcement officers have in the field. It enables you to view our actions in each case, and we can decide with you what you want to see in terms of MI. So if you've got key performance indicators that you want feedback on, we can provide you a monthly report that informs you on those. Typically they would be things like amounts recovered and turnaround times, but we have over 100 fields of information on Pathfinder, so if you want to know something else, then we can tell you about it. And you can set reports to be triggered at designated points. So when we've spoken to the defendant, when we've made a payment arrangement with them, when we've recovered in full, you can receive reports at those points in the enforcement process. And it enables you to stop relying on your solicitor to provide you with updates. There will always be a lag when you're dealing with a solicitor and obtaining updates from a third party. So Pathfinder enables you to have a login for yourself so that you can see what we're doing. If you choose to, you can take a very high-level view, or you can drill down into particular cases. And your solicitor would also have that access to Pathfinder. So you don't need to necessarily go back to them for updates constantly. So in summary, you'll have to forgive me. When I was putting these slides together, it was getting a bit late in the day, and I kind of wanted to bring it back to the zombie theme, but I think I might have failed. So the key point is that, yes, we're not waiting for interest rates to rise. As we come out of the economic downturn and enter into recovery, some of those poorly performing businesses will form part of your customer base, and you'll need to do something about it. And if you're at the back of the queue, then you won't be succeeding, and there'll be somebody else at the front of the queue who's doing a better job by getting judgment and enforcing it. And if you are already doing that, then make sure that you've got the right team behind you. Have more than one supplier, and that's the only way really to measure success. So outside on the registration desk is a copy of Getting to the Front of the Queue, a commercial creditor's guide to High Court enforcement, long title, but hopefully a good read. Those are my contact details, so if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam.